Hello.
Hi, I am Jennie Bellinger. I am a direct sales coach with my company Level Up Coaching. I'm also known as the direct sales Dom in my badass direct sales mastery community. So I help direct sales representatives increase their personal sales and get the high performing team members that they've been begging for. So that's what I do and kind of who I am.
And like, because I'm just fascinated the different professions that people evolve themselves into, right? It wasn't something you dreamt of, and yet you started doing things and you found this niche that you were good at, and you found that there was like a really great purpose for your niche. And so tell me about that.
I started out my professional career as a middle school science teacher, right? Took some time off to be a mom, and during that time got introduced to a network marketing company and made the decision as soon as I went into the business that if I was going to do this, I was going to do this. I was going to rock it. I wasn't going to half-ass it,
Right.
you know? So I really made sure that I connected with not just my upline, but I talked to other people in other companies, other direct sales companies. I looked for as many mentors as I could. I read books on business. I read books on leadership to try and figure out how I could really be successful in this business, because I saw very quickly that there were people coming in and out of the business in a matter of months. And I kept going, well, what is it that makes me different? Why is it that I'm succeeding and other people aren't? So that's what eventually pushed me into coaching, because I wanted to help these people succeed, because I realized the people who were coming in and out of the business were people who needed a second stream of income, but they were coming from a service-based industry. So for example, like teachers, nurses, people who aren't in the business of running the business. They're there providing a service, but they don't have to actually run a business. So they didn't get the business mindset. They didn't get the business techniques, tips, being creative, that entrepreneurship of doing whatever it takes. So we really what I really wanted to do is help people maneuver themselves from this hobby into a business, because a lot of them would say, oh, this is my hobby, and I'm like, yeah, well, you pay money to have a hobby.
Sure.
Right, a business will make you money. So just maneuvering people. And so I got into coaching. I was coaching in my company for a number of years with my team, and then other people I would do training with. I would coach across the country, nationwide, with my company. And then
which was the company? What was the company?
It's called Park Lane Jewelry.
Uh-huh.
So I would do trainings with people. Other leaders would hear, Jennie Bellinger is really good at this. So they'd call me up and ask me to train their team via webinar or a phone call.
So that's an interesting point. If someone, you don't just you see these people who are kind of at the height of their game, or, even if it's a small niche, they're talking about it and you're like, oh, I want to be there. And it's not like you were born into that. How was it that, so here you were selling jewelry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had some of your own little tips and hacks. And how is it that you got yourself into a position where the company was like, we'd like you to speak at this? Did you go, hey, there's a seminar that I'm going to attend. I'm paying $1,000 to go to this seminar. Do you need a free speaker? Give me some of that.
Well, I wasn't, I didn't speak at company stuff, but what happened was word got around throughout the leadership that Jennie Bellinger is really good at training on this. She's got great wording. She's really effective at teaching people how to do, this or this. There were various things that people asked me to come in and talk about. So I would go in on webinars, phone conferences, because I had leaders from Florida, New York, California, Texas asking me.
So you'd find webinars and you would go, I'm going to watch this webinar and I'm going to participate? Or
well, no, the leader would hear about me and then would request that I came in and talk to their team. So
okay,
instead of meeting in purpose,
you made use of being on webinars. See, I'm just trying to like,
oh yeah,
right?
Yes.
Because you get these emails and you hear about these things and people want you to, and you're trying to fit these things into your schedule. Such a new way now of getting your shit out there and networking. Yeah. And so in other words, you started doing these, you were being invited on webinars, and you speaking on them opened up another audience. Maybe not even in the area you were initially thinking, but it kind of snowballs, you know?
Yeah, it really did, because I was training with all of these people and helping them. And then what I saw happen was they would take these tips, techniques, ideas, thoughts, mindsets, language, whatever it was that I happened to train on at that particular time. And they would tag me on Facebook and say, Jennie Bellinger, thank you so much for teaching me to do this. Or thank you so much for helping me promote, because what I learned from you helped me advance my business, and little things like that. So then people in other direct sales companies, so I was with a jewelry company. So then people from kitchen product companies and oil companies and makeup companies and all these people started contacting me, asking me, well, will you help me promote? You know, what did you teach so-and-so? Because they were a mutual friend. Eventually figured out, oh, the universe is speaking to me. It's
totally
time for me to listen. And so I hooked up with a business coach here where I am. I live just outside of St. Louis, so right in the middle of the Midwest. And was talking to a coach friend of mine who I think he's watching. His name is Tim Dean. He's amazing. But had a conversation with him and realized that the type of coaching that he does, which is whole person coaching, is exactly what I needed if I was going to go into coaching with direct salespeople. So I pursued certification in my coaching and then left my jewelry business because I didn't want to have a conflict of interest. And that I wanted to be able to really help more people succeed in this business, which is a phenomenal opportunity for people who need another stream of income or they're sick of working, 80-hour teaching jobs. They want to.
The stream, the income being coaching other people to do the thing that they have an expertise in.
Yeah, wherever their passion may lie. So if they're into health and wellness.
So this is what I want to hear. Give me some like spew off some examples.
Right. So for example, I have coaching clients who are with health and wellness companies. So they have a passion. And in fact, one of them is actually a registered nurse. She is with a health and wellness company. And so she chose that company, that passion, because obviously she's into health. She was sick of working with sick people. She wants to help prevent those things. And so she's utilizing her business to try and get people healthy so she doesn't have to see them in the hospital.
So in other words, so she has a hospital job, but she's making extra cash doing a coaching job as well. And then at some point she could then just be her full time doing that, right?
Yeah, going into,
this doesn't mean you have to even leave whatever your comfort zone is, but it's a way to begin. Like, you got to start somewhere, not everyone is a trust fund baby, and usually they're not like super active and motivated anyway. So says the actress here who does a gazillion things. And so, all right, then, so that would be like one. I like that idea. I like that because, I did work, I did some training as a certified nurse assistant, and I got to see a lot that's out there. But even their hours, they may work 3 days straight, but then they have like 3 days off. So they can be using that.
Yeah. What are you going to do on your days off? Because nurses have such great schedules nowadays compared to what it used to be.
Right.
They could have 3 or 4 days on, and then they've got 3 or 4 days off. Well, take one of those days to run your errands and go to your doctor appointments and dentist appointments and all that. But then now you still have 2 more days to do household stuff. And if you're looking for another stream of income, then going into a network marketing business is a great opportunity if you find a passion or something that aligns with who you are. So in her case, it was about health.
Right.
But not all nurses are wanting to get into that. So they might pick jewelry. They might pick kitchen products for cooking healthy. They, it just really depends. Maybe they're into skincare and they want to do that. So it's just really aligning themselves or figuring out what their passion is. Because if you're not passionate about the outcome of your product or service, right, it's going to be a lot harder to stay in business when you're on the downswing of that roller coaster of business, because every business has those ups and downs. And if you're not passionate about what comes out of your product or service, your business, then when you're in the downswing, it's so easy to go, ugh.
Totally. Now, what, like, some people, like, there's also something really passionate about making a boatload of money. Like, I have a lot of friends that sell stuff on Amazon, and they may not be like totally passionate about selling, like one dude sold water balloons, and made hundreds of thousands of dollars like in a year. And then that sort of waned off and found something else. And it's not like, oh, I'm passionate about water balloons. But I think it was like passionate about the game of finding something that's needed, that there's some opportunity, and applying your business sense to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's when it comes to network marketing or any business, whether it's if you're going to start your own business, it's making sure that whatever it is you're providing is something that people either need or want. Right. But the passion behind it and taking that and turning it into something that you can actually make money with is really phenomenal. But of course, just because people need it or want it doesn't mean they know it's out there. So it's being able to implement a great marketing strategy and being able to network effectively and being able to really be able to have that conversation about what your passion is, and not necessarily talk about what it is you do. Right. Because one thing I would never tell people when I was in my previous business was, I didn't say, if somebody said, what do you do? My answer was not, I sell jewelry. Because then everyone goes, ooh, oh, yuck, sell. Oh, I don't want, they didn't want to be sold, right? Because they thought the next thing that was going to come out of my mouth was, so do you want my necklace? Do you want my earrings? All of that stuff. Right. So my answer was, when people say, what do you do? I help busy professional women get out of the house faster and feeling better so they can go out into the world and kick ass. And people go, oh, well, how do you do that? Well, I help them find their personal style, and I do closet consults, and then I also help them accessorize in such a way that they have a complete look all put together. And people still go, well, how do you do that? Well, I've got a fashion business. So I would narrow it down to the point where people went, oh. And so eventually I would tell people, well, I'm a personal jewelry stylist. Yeah, I don't sell jewelry. I'm a personal jewelry stylist. And that's really about how you can really effectively talk about what it is that you do. Talk about the outcome. Don't talk about what you do, because no one really cares. No one cares. No, and that's true. I wanted to give me more on that, because I have to, like, that is spectacular. It's the, if someone is like, let's say they work for HR, I hire people. That could be sort of a flatlined response. Whereas, I find the perfect person for the perfect job the first time, every time, or what, Sure. Right. Like something that makes someone go, wow, that is like something you almost can't say no to. Yeah, and that was exactly it. That was how I was able to market myself, is to be able to talk about the outcome, because everybody wanted the outcome. Give me more examples of that. Some people you work with, like, I like. So for to jump back to that previous example, the client of mine who is a nurse who's focused on health, we've had that conversation of don't tell people I sell, veggie gummies. Oh, right? I love those. Like, right? Not addicted to a freaking veggie gummy. I know, right? But a lot of people go, it's the I sell this. That's right. So what it is I provide a way for people to get the nutrition they need in addition to whatever it is that they're going to be eating. So if they're eating cleanly, this gives them the additional support. Or if you're not eating so well, it's having that conversation. So really to be successful in business, whether it's network marketing or something else, you've got to really get down to the
Give me another example. I want another example. I love these. Of course, I'm thinking of the gummy one. I'm like, I help people get healthy as easy as eating a frickin' Hostess apple pie. you know, like
exactly.
Really?
It's those little things like that.
Give me another example.
So I have clients who are with essential oil companies. It's I help people clean their house without chemicals. A lot of people go, oh really? Or without the toxic, man-made chemicals. So they're utilizing essential oils and instead of doing that. I help people stay healthy, depending on what the product is. So it's really about going for the outcome and figuring out who their tribe is and what is it that they want to be able to create that what do you do statement.
Yeah.
So it's boiling it down to, okay, who are the people that I want? Who are my very favorite clients? Because here's the thing. Could I sell jewelry to any and every woman? Absolutely. Did I have the bandwidth to be able to handle every single woman? No. And I certainly didn't want people who weren't passionate about fashion. So I was always telling people, fashion is my passion. So help me, introduce me to other people who are into fashion, because that's my tribe. Those were my ladies, the ones who cared about changing out their spring to their summer to their fall to their winter, the ones who cared about what was going on in New York and Paris and London at the time, even though it wasn't necessarily jewelry related. They cared about fashion and they wanted to look their best at all times, and they wanted to be smart about their budget.
I'm going to just
New York. New York. Oh, look at it.
That's Manhattan right there. It's a little bit of okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks a little hazy out there, but that's okay. Yes. That's okay. Yeah, so I think
my unobstructed Manhattan view.
I know that's fabulous, and there are people who cared about that. So it's when you're paring down your business in such a way so that you can figure out like who your preferred client is, who's the person that you love working with. Yeah. Like, think about your very, 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 very favorite client, whoever that is. Now, what are the descriptors?
They call it your avatar.
Yeah, your avatar, right?
Your
exactly.
avatar.
In the business world, it's the avatar, right? But people, when I'm talking to people in the network marketing world, because they're not in the business world, if I say, tell me about your avatar, they're like, isn't that a video game thing?
Totally. It's a movie. It's so weird. Even though I'm sort of in this business a bit, I still don't like that. It's just like, I don't know. It just, it seems, it puts us like as robots, but yes.
Exactly. But it's having an idea.
Yes. If you hear that word, that's what it is.
Exactly. Avatar is your very favorite, the best client you've ever had ever.
Yeah. And it's just good karma to kind of always be writing down like what is like, it's just great energy and putting it there to go like like even as a photographer, it's like, I want people who know that you got to pay more than $150 for something way better than an iPhone shot, like someone that I have to fight with to go, you don't realize this one picture that you're going to get for $1,000 is going to bring you $100,000 in the next 6 months. And you'll be able to use the picture for years. Really? And you want to pay $100? Like I can have that conversation and I can turn someone, but you don't have to do that if you are promoting and putting your marketing tools out there that already say that. Like the people who see your like I love when someone says, I don't think I can afford you. Like that's great. Right. Because then it starts a conversation. They've already put you at a really beautiful standard, because when someone thinks they can't afford you, all that means is that they have very low havingness, which is kind of heartbreaking, you know, because we all want to be able to afford anything. But it also means in this society that you're really good, you know, and that's a great place to be. So I think it's really awesome that you know, really work with people to concentrate on what that perfect customer is. It doesn't, you know, whatever rent is due, you might have to scrounge and find someone who's less perfect but can throw out the money, you know.
Right.
But when you go for what's perfect, it gives you more wins, and it makes you want to keep doing that job the next day and the next day.
Yeah, exactly. When you get to work with your very favorite clients, it doesn't feel like work.
That's
you
right.
know? And
That's
and
right.
it just makes, they love being with you, and then they refer more people who are like them to you.
That's right.
It's this wonderful, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy over and over again of, because I know who I'm looking for, they know other people who look like that, and they're able to then help translate that into more business for you.
Totally.
You know?
This has been so awesome. I hate that I have to say goodbye to you.
I know. This is such a great talk. I love it. This has been so much fun.
All right. Tell people where they can reach you.
Online community, which is called Badass Direct Sales Mastery. So go into Facebook, type in Badass Direct Sales Mastery, and that is my direct sales community where you can jump into the community. And anybody who's watching, who's with Denice, I'm going to let you guys come in for your first month for $1 to come check it out. And if you don't get $1 worth of value,
thank you so much for everything that you're doing for the entrepreneurs.
Oh, it's been so much fun, and I look forward to part 2.
Okay.